Alright, this is John Cole with okraw.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you, and I'm really glad and blessed to be sitting next to you today, Annette Larkin. So she invited me to her home to make a video for you guys about her garden and also just about her lifestyle, and also just for me to have a chance to get to know her better, because, you know, aside from making a couple videos here, we've just been talking like for 3 hours straight almost. Standing up, not even sitting down, just really jiving with each other, because we've been like on similar paths. I've been doing this for on a plant-based raw diet for 21 years, and she's been doing it like 30 plus years, and vegetarian for even longer. And the thing with Annette is that this diet is definitely working for her. I mean, she's been featured on different TV programs, the doctor's TV show, many different news media. She has YouTube videos on it, and she gets a lot of views. And the main thing about Annette is she's been doing this for so long, but the fact is that people are amazed at how young she actually looks. So you would never guess that Annette here sitting next to me, and when I saw her when she came out, I was like, wow. I mean, I was like, wow. I was beyond impressed when I saw her in person. But anyways, she's 74 years young. I mean, she doesn't look a day over maybe 35. Completely amazing. And this is what can happen if you eat a plant-based raw diet appropriately. And we're going to find out in this episode her top 10 tips to remain forever young like she is. You know, the fountain of youth is not in some pill, some drug, or anything like that, in my opinion. But it's by simply, having practices in your life more than just diet, because diet is definitely one component, and ensuring your diet is proper. But there's many other things that Annette does as well. And just chatting with her, we're almost like kindred spirits. We both have a really sharp mind. We're energetic. We have tons of boundless energy. We both like to wake up. When we wake up and we open our eyes in the morning, we jump out of bed and we're just full blast the whole day, and we have energy to do whatever we'd like. I mean, this is how everybody should be living. But unfortunately, people are not, for whatever reason. And I want to have this episode for you guys to share with you guys some of the practices that Annette does, and also I can make sure that I'm doing some of those so that I'm on the right track as well. So Annette, how long ago did you start a plant-based diet, and when did you get into raw foods, and why?
Well, plant-based, I've been 50 years, a little over 50 years actually. I started out as a vegetarian, and then I gradually progressed into vegan, because originally I was vegetarian, but I was eating macaroni and cheese and all that stuff, so it grew into something else. I took steps going in the direction of absolutely getting rid of all of the refined sugar, flour, and all that stuff, and then getting into, after the refined sugar and flour, I let go of the mucousy causing food like dairy products, eggs, and all of that stuff, and then eventually it grew into the raw food realm. Although initially that wasn't working. For 1 week, I was trying to go into the raw, and being the bibliophile that I am, of course it stood to reason that I would read something that would lead me further onto the path that I had taken, not knowing where I was going. But what happened is I tried to sustain myself on salads alone, just lettuce and tomatoes. And that just was not working. It was boring, more boring. My taste buds were saying, girl, you have got to put some zeal in this raw deal. And so I had to regroup. I had to just turn around and say, well, okay, what do I do? So I started getting into actually eating. I started preparing. I was like a painter with a canvas. I started just doing some things, because my palate, knew what I liked and what I didn't like. So I started doing some things. I even did some, what do you call the dried, the dehydrated foods. I started doing some of that, crackers, and then I was sprouting. Back then I started sprouting, adding some sprouts into my diet, And the whole point was I was doing more than just salads. And because I couldn't sustain myself on just salads alone, it was too boring. So I got into that and just progressed further on into, the eventuality is where I am now. And that was how I got started, going into that realm.
Cool. And what was the main reason? Because you didn't necessarily get into it for your health, right?
No, it wasn't for health. Initially, it had nothing to do with health. I just began to abhor the taste, touch, smell of dead animal, or of animal, period, of live, any kind. But I no longer wanted to affiliate myself. I no longer wanted to associate myself with it. Even though I continued to cook for my family, I just did not want it to go into my body. It was just gross to me, the thought of it going into my body, because I equate carnivorism and cannibalism to be one and the same. So that's how it started. I knew your four basic food groups like everybody else, but I was nutritionally ignorant. But I found that once I had gotten off of the animal flesh, I found how it helped me in my life. I mean, I began to think, I've always been a thinker, but I began to even think with more clarity. And these progressions that you make, going into the raw, the whole thing, it gets better. So I noticed some changes there, and it just really reflected my change in diet, so that made me want to go further. And that's what happened. You take steps. And if those steps are positive ones and you find that they're doing good for you, then you continue to grow. And so, yeah, initially, it just happened that one Saturday morning in 1963, we had, because my husband was a butcher, we had for breakfast those southern meals like grits and eggs and jam and bacon and ham and probably sausages, because he was a butcher, right? He afforded us the opportunity to have whatever meats we wanted, so that by noon time I had taken some chops out of the freezer to thaw for the evening meal. And I went to check on the progress of those thawing chops, and I looked down at the chops. All of a sudden, it hit me. I don't want this in my body. As a matter of fact, what I thought about is, if I put this in my body, I will throw up. And that was the beginning. One Saturday afternoon in 1963, I had my last meat meal. That morning and afternoon, my life had changed. Now, I didn't know why that happened. Somebody suggested that it may have been because of a previous life. And I said, oh, well, that's another story. All right. But whatever the reason, I mean, there were things that I believe, in retrospect, when I look at it, I realized that it didn't happen all of a sudden. My individual composition as a human being really dictated that it would culminate for even where it is now. But I had no way of knowing at that time how it happened. But that's how it all began.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, as you see, it's definitely working for her now. And not only does she look good, but, man, she's sharp as a tack. Unlike, she's probably the sharpest 74-year-old that I've ever met in my life. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the top 10 tips to stay forever young. So Annette, what would you say is tip number 1 for everybody out there?
Well, I would put at the onset, I would go with what we eat and what we drink. Food, whatever goes into your body is necessary. It is necessary that you supply your hospitals are filled with people who are digging their graves with their forks. So we must put in our bodies what our bodies require. And if we do that, then we're off to a very good start. So we must eat well, we must drink well. That's nutritiously, okay? And then, so we would include that as 1 or 2.
Well, why don't we start with eat well, and then we'll get into the drink well, because these are different things. So eating well, what does that mean to you? What kind of foods and what quantities of certain foods or not?
Well, quantity I don't really get so much into. It's just that I would say don't overindulge in nuts, because nuts, my diet consists of fruits, nuts, vegetables, and seeds. I do a lot of sprouting with the seeds. I sprout everything. And so that's it, my diet: fruits, nuts, vegetables, and seeds. So that's what my diet consists of. So that's what I would say eat. And of course, my thought is to eat it in its natural raw state, or living state. When we do the sprouts, we've got living foods, because after you take them from the refrigerator, not from the refrigerator, after you take them from their growing environment and put them in the refrigerator, they continue to grow at a minute level, but they're growing nevertheless. So when you eat these succulent morsels, you're actually eating living foods. So that's where the living food comes in. Now, when you take a cabbage and harvest it or something like that, then that's not going to continue to grow. But it's superb nutrition because you're eating it in its natural raw state. So my thing is, my universal truth is that if you eat it in its natural raw state as opposed to overcooking it, overprocessing it, it's certainly going to enhance your existence, okay? So that is the food part of it. Now drinking.
Number 2.
Okay, here we go, number 2. My choice of water. It's important that we hydrate ourselves. So my choice of water, may not be anybody else's, and I'm not here to debate it, is distilled water. That's what I've been drinking for years, distilled water. So, and that's probably for about 45 years actually, but that's the drink. That's what I drink. That's nature's own original beverage. Okay. Now juices, all kinds of juices. We've got green drinks. You've got the wheatgrass juice I drink, of course. And I drink my noni juice, and you want to, whatever fruits and vegetable juices, just drink those, supply them, as opposed to all of the pop drinks that people have, all of the sugar coated drinks that people have. So it's and if you can drink it, it's best to do it yourself. It's best to do your own juicing. So that's number 2, the drinking. And so we've got what? Nature's own original water, and then juices of all kinds.
Awesome. How about tip number 3?
Tip number 3, I would say exercise is very important. And not just exercising our bodies. Everybody wants to look fit. Sure, who doesn't? Most people do. Not everybody falls under that category. But most people want to look fit. So yes, look fit and be fit, but not only are you exercising your body, but your mind as well. If you want to stay sharp, because I'm going to tell you something, that old cliche about if you don't use it, you lose it, it is so true. So that's the third one. You must exercise and exercise well. I get in 8 miles of activity a day, at least, okay? And
she's 74. How many 74-year-olds get in 8 miles a day?
Yeah, well, I do that, and I climb up and down my spiral staircase purposely to get in at least 50 floors. When I go down and come back up, that's a floor. So I do that purposely until I've achieved. In addition to the running up and down the stairs normally, I make sure that I do additional running up and down until I've achieved 50. It feels good. And it gives me, I have lots of energy. What can I tell you? If we could bottle and sell the energy that I had, we could make millions.
She could power the whole United States.
So what, we're on number 3?
No, that was number 3. We're on number 4 now.
We're on number 4. So the next thing I would say is getting enough rest. Getting enough rest, getting enough sleep. It's important. It really is. We work our bodies. We should be working our bodies, okay? But then we do all of that work. Our bodies need to rest. Our minds need to rest. We need to calm down, relax, relax, relax. It sounds like one of those, I don't know if you've ever heard of that group called, I forget their names at the moment, but Enigma. They go, relax, 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 through one of their songs. But yeah, it's true. We need to relax, and we need to, I've got energy going all day, but there comes a time when I need some relaxation. And I believe that rest and sleep is dependent upon the individual's needs. You know, if I've gone to sleep for 4 hours, I jump up out of bed ready to meet the day with a smile and all of the energy that I need to carry me through the day. There's no scientist that can tell me I need 4 more hours sleep. So it's an individual thing. That's number 4.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, my goal is to go to bed when I'm tired, and I wake up whenever I wake up. And this is how I've created my life so that I could do this, because, you know, health is your greatest wealth. You only get one shot at your health. You could, you know, have a lot of money, and that could do you no good if you don't have any your health to enjoy it. I mean, people that are millionaires are just not happy with their lives because they haven't really fixed their health or their minds. So let's get into the next tip.
Well, we've got number 5.
Yeah, number 5.
Okay, I would say sunshine is important. Now, everybody's not able to get sunshine all the time. But when you can, include sunshine. That's beautiful sun that we have. It's such a gift. It warms us. It warms the world. I mean, it helps to give us the energy that we need. It gives you vitamin D, and it gives you other vitamins and minerals that we need, our body can really make use of. So that would be something to include when you can. And I would say don't go in excess. Some people, you know, they're sun worshipers, but I would not do it in excess, you know, because you can overdo anything. You can really overdo a good thing. So, you know, get what you need, get out. Get in, get out. And so that would be the 5th thing, I would say.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, my dog, my little dog, his name's Oakley, and he loves to go out in the sun every day. But here's the thing, like, Oakley will be out in the sun, he'll like the sun, but then he'll want to go inside, and I don't, you know, maybe he knows that he's gotten enough sun. And, you know, just like us, like, I like to be out in the sun, and then I'm like, okay, I need to be out of the sun, or maybe if I'm out gardening for the whole day, I'll put a hat on, because I'm like, okay, John, you got enough sun, and sometimes I'll take my shirt off, and, you know, then my body's like, well, John, maybe you should put your shirt on now. And you got to listen to your body as to how much sun you need. Now, the other really cool thing when you're eating a high antioxidant diet, like as is in, you know, fruits and vegetables and sprouts, you get a lot of antioxidants, and these is basically your sun protection from the inside out. No other animal on earth wears sunscreen. Sunscreen is something, in my opinion, very, very toxic and bad. It's bad for you, and it's bad for the reefs and the ocean when it washes off you. So get internal sunscreen by eating copious amounts of what she said in tip number 1. So now we're up to number 6. So Annette, what is tip number 6?
Well, John, I think that even having a positive attitude, is very important, because, I mean, it's just great to be able, if you're feeling good, you will emit that, you know, really. So having a positive attitude, it takes, I guess, probably just as much energy to frown as it does to smile. But you feel so good when you smile, don't you? Hey, give a smile today and get back. You'll get it back, because people tell me all the time, my God, you're infectious, you know? You got that smile and the energy and all that. And quite frankly, I think that if you do the things aforementioned, you'll have that smile. Why not? You're going to feel good. You're going to feel like smiling. So that's number 6.
6, yeah. I mean, I'd agree. Have a positive attitude, and, you know, one of the things I try to do is have an attitude of gratitude and be grateful of things instead of expectant of things in life. I think, you know, unfortunately, a lot of the younger generation expect things, but I'm just grateful to you know, have what I have and have what I've created, and I want to encourage everybody out there, you know, attitude of gratitude. All right, so we're up to number 7.
Number 7. Let's see. What else can we throw in? You know, there's just so much that we can do in order to have optimum health. And I think another thing is love. I think love needs to go into there. Love your fellow man. I mean, you know, you don't have to. I think about like winos on the street. I don't have to get down and waddle with them, but I can certainly give them the time of day. I can say hello to them, because they're human, just like I am. And so I think that's an extension. I think they feel the love if you pay them attention. People who may not ordinarily get the attention that others get. So love is very important. You know, we're going to love our family. We're going to love whomever we come across. We don't have to know these people. We're all in this thing together. Our experience is the human experience. We all love, we should love. This is the way I feel about it. We cry, we do all of the things that we do. I think we can do them better though with all of the things that we mentioned before, and giving the love. That's something that's important, I do believe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would definitely agree with that. And if you don't want to love somebody and you don't have a relationship, get a pet, rescue an animal from a shelter. They will love you, and you know, unconditionally, and you could love them back and get some love into your heart and into your life. This is another essential component of staying forever young, but more importantly, besides staying forever young with these tips, you will be healthier because of it, and you'll have a greater and more joyous life. So Annette, we're down to number 8. What is the 8th tip to stay forever young?
Well, now let's see. Well, we've talked about it before. Do your own thing. Garden. Do your own gardening. Whether it be, I think you should do both, indoor, outdoor, mature plants, or because the sprouting is just so wonderful. I mean, it really, really is there. It may be more important. I'm not going to say that it is, because we want to eat mature plants. It may be more important eating the sprouts than it is even the mature plants, you know? So make sure that you garden. Okay, so that's the reason we talked about that in eating in the number 1. But the thing about it is, the reason why you want to do your own is because, I mean, you know what you're getting. It feels good to see something grow. It really, you can't, I mean, hey, I get off. I get off on seeing a plant. And you know what? The interesting thing about that is that you plant a carrot seed. If you plant, well, you know how you do the carrots. But if you plant any seed that you plant, I don't care what it is, guess what? If you plant a cabbage seed, it's not going to come up as a celery stalk. It's going to come up as a cabbage seed. So it knows how to grow. It knows how to grow. So planting and growing your own stuff, it puts you in control. Yeah. And it's so wonderful to walk out in your backyard or into your wherever you are, whether it's indoors or outdoors. It's so important to be able to say, hey, I did this. I did this with the help of nature, of course. So that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Gardening is one of my essentials, and hopefully it should be one of yours too. You could check my other channel out at growingyourgreens.com, where I teach you guys how to grow your own food. I mean, not only do you get to grow your own food, know where it comes from, but now you feel connected with something. You're connected with your plants. I love my plants. Another thing to love, I love to get the sun out in nature when I'm gardening outside, and there's so many benefits to gardening, and I'm glad you included this in the list here. So that brings us to number 9.
Okay. Well, you know what I would say? Do something good for someone else other than yourself. It'll make you feel good, and all these good feelings contribute to health. When you're doing the other things, you know, it's a conglomerate of things. It's a conglomeration, so it's not just the one thing, but all of these things connected come together to bring about optimum health. So, you know, you got to give, however you do it, to whomever you do it. Giving is very important, because, you know, if you feel blessed, I think the Creator wants us to share in our blessings. So that is something that we can do, and it will help us to be able to, in this temple, I think we've been given this temple, the beautiful mind. I'm in awe of the mind. The body, the beautiful bodies that we have. I mean, we must keep these temples well cleansed and well nourished. So when we do these kinds of things, it makes you want to give to other people, because you feel so blessed. You want to to share in your blessings.
Wow, these are definitely some wise words. I mean, I think that, yeah, like helping your fellow man. I mean, we're all, like so many people these days, and we're taught from a young age to be like, out for yourself. You know, and some people in certain states are more out for themselves than others. But I think helping your fellow man, because that's really all we got. I mean, you could go after money your whole life and then end up at the end of your life with a ton of money and no friends or whatever. But I think all we really have is others. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I make all these videos, to educate you guys. Because, I mean, this is my contribution to the world, to share my knowledge, to share people I have access to that, you know, you might not get to hear interviews from, and on gardening and on my raw foods channel like you're watching now. So yeah, give as much as you're able and how you're able. So now, Annette, we're down to the last, number 10 tip to stay forever young, which, you know, is also the same as being healthy. What is it?
Well, again, you just hit on it. A key word, share. We were talking about giving something. But when I say share, what you're doing, John, and what I'm doing, and other people like us, we have to get ourselves in the right mode and then spread the word to the world. Health is the number one objective. Let us be healthy, world. Now, we're not going to get to everybody. We don't know how many we're going to get to. But if we can influence, whomever we can influence, that is what is important. And so sharing, sharing, when we give, that's a sharing. Yes, that's a sharing. But what we want to do is to expand upon that sharing. In other words, passing the word, because what you're doing is sharing the word. And you're showing all of your videos. I'm doing videos, other people are doing. So we're sharing, we're putting it out there for people. And I know you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So the important thing, though, is that we do what we know is the right thing to do. Get the word out there to as many people as we can. And that's how we share. You know, that's how we share, by doing what we're doing. That's it. So sharing the knowledge that we have acquired. That's it, because that's different than giving somebody something.
I see.
You see what I'm saying? You see the difference? If I talk long enough, I'll make the point. But so that's it. You know, you want to share, because that's different than you're giving when you're sharing, and you're sharing when you give. But the difference is that when you share the knowledge that you have acquired, that means a lot to educate somebody. Because, you know, even that story about the fish. You know, somebody said something about you can give somebody a fish and have them eat. I don't know how it goes. I'm going to paraphrase it.
Give them a fish, feed them for a day, teach them how to fish, feed them for a lifetime.
There you
Now,
go.
I would say, you know, give a person a vegetable, feed them for a day, but teach them how to garden, and they could have food for life.
There you go. So we've got our 10.
Yeah, and I mean, it does really feel good to share, because, you know, one of my goals is to make a difference in the world, and I think that's what this really, in essence, gets down to. And number 10 is having an impact, and a positive impact in the world, to share, you know, what you've learned in your gifts, because you feel better about that, because, you know, you realize that you're also part of a bigger picture, you know, than just yourself. And I mean, if everybody did this, we'd have a lot different world, a lot different government, a lot different everything. And I think things are just being unfortunately controlled in many situations just by greed and by money.
Mm-hmm. Take control of yourself and what you do, and spread the control to others. Let them let them know that the power is within that individual. You can make a difference for yourself, and then you go out and share that and have other people. And let's just keep it going.
Awesome. Wow. This is definitely a great episode, and I hope you guys have listened to it and taken notes. And if not, you could actually go back and rewind this video and watch it again and take notes and start doing some of these things. Now, this is a general overview video, and if you want to learn more about Annette and what she does to keep herself young and healthy, young in spirit and mind and energy, she has a website where she has these awesome booklets and DVDs, so you could learn more about her. And Annette, how can somebody get these?
Well, to go to my website, AnnetteLarkins.com. That's ANNETTELARKINS.com. And when you go on that red strip, you'll see, which is a navigation bar. To the far right is the orders page. And if you go there, you can scroll down and you'll see everything that I have to personally offer. Okay, if you go to products, you'll get them individually. But even on that page where you scroll down, whatever you want to know is it's descriptive. You know, if you click on, you'll get a description, individual description. You can order any single item, or you can order bundles. And I have the kitchen bundle, which consists of Annette's Raw Kitchen, along with the Journey to Health and Journey to Health 2 booklets. They're compact, yet chock full of information. People ask me, I get so much information in those little books. I say, I go straight for the jugular, okay? So, and then you have the Health Alternatives interviews. That's a bundle, that's a second bundle. And then you have Health Alternatives Interviews Plus. So you just go take a look and, hey, just look around and see what you would, something that you may want to, and you can get further into what I'm about.
Awesome, Annette. Well, I've definitely had some fun being here, and if you want to see more of Annette, hey, be sure to also check out her YouTube channel. I'll put links down underneath this video in the description to her website and also her YouTube channel so that you guys could check her out. So, and that last question I have for you, is there any other messages you want to share with my viewers today?
Well, again, the ultimate message is to be healthy. It means so much. I have to tell you, at 74, I can thread the eye of the tiniest needle without help, without any assistance. I don't wear glasses, you know. Again, as we talked about earlier, and I'm not saying this to be boastful, although it may be a little boastful. My mind is sharp or sharper than when I was younger. So that thing about people saying, well, you know, I'm getting older, so my mind is not what it used to be. Why not? Because you're not using it. You are not using it. And again, I think it's important that we understand, whatever age we are, we know that we're going to leave here. Don't concentrate on the leaving, concentrate on the living here and now. And you want to be psychologically, physiologically, and spiritually sound at whatever age you are. That's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm getting. And so I would suggest to you, if you're interested, don't get on a soapbox. I don't and preach to anyone. I'd rather teach than preach. And I don't want to try to convince those who do not wish to be convinced. But if you're looking at this video, I guess you're interested. And if you look this far, I guess you're interested. So those are just some suggestions that I have.
Wow, amazing. I mean, another thing that just came to my mind right now is like, know your outcome. You know what you want, know what you're shooting for, so that's what you will end up getting.
Positively.
Yeah.
Positively.
All right, Annette. So yeah, thanks for having me out. Really
It's
enjoyed our time together.
Yeah. We get hugs.
And if you guys too enjoyed this episode, also, hey, be sure to give me a thumbs up to let me know. Also, be sure to check my past episodes. I have over 400 episodes on this channel, interviewing so many different kinds of raw fooders out there, and also, sharing with you guys how to practically live raw foods and save money on produce and just all kinds of cool content on the channel. And also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below to be notified of my new and upcoming episodes I have coming out about every 5 to 7 days. So once again, my name is John Kohler with okraw.com. We'll see you next time. And until then, remember, keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're always the best.
Thumbs up.
All right, this is John Kohler with okraw.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. We got two wonderful babies here. We got Murphy over here, and we got Lucy down here. They're both greyhounds, and these are rescue greyhounds, right? They're rescue greyhounds.